I want to talk about Purdy's future. He's not throwing right now. He's got an injury to his throwing arm. It's the second one he's had in 3 seasons. He's, I don't know. Is this guy for sure their franchise quarterback? Do they have to dock him some money in their contract offer? Is he losing money? And is he on the verge of not getting an extension? Like, what's at stake for him right now?
Can I bring the violence?
Oh yeah,
bring it.
Oh yeah,
because like the longer I do this, the more I care less about what people think of me. So I might as well just bring the violence right now. Like this might be the end of the Brock Purdy era. Like this might be the beginning of the end for the Brock Purdy era. I
stepping out of his dick and dunk shell, y'all. Watch out.
Hey, like if this guy is seriously like trending this direction where he's gonna have arm issues,
talk your shit, man.
This could be the beginning of the end for Brock Purdy, man. I don't think he's playing this weekend. If he does, he's going to be not himself. I don't see how he's 100% Brock Purdy this weekend. And that's 2 arm injuries within 3 years. This isn't a good look, man. I think he's lost himself a lot of money. And this could be the beginning of the end for the Brock Purdy era. We could have a new quarterback in 2 years.
Well, I want to know what you have to say about this, Coach, because we had a similar conversation in the offseason. And I said, if Brock Purdy gets hurt, like, he's not getting paid. You're like, $60 million, lock it in. It doesn't matter what happens to Brock. So I want to see it now that it's happened.
My opinion, it didn't like preface it with me being wrong.
No. I just want to know. I want to know if you changed your tune on this.
I want to hear what Coach has to say because we were talking about this and he was way off. But go ahead, do it now.
Exactly. So,
are you still way off? Is the question.
You jackass.
You still have that really stupid opinion that you had on the phone that you were previewing to me because I thought it was dumb. But go ahead, I want to hear it.
Way to tee me up, Jess. God. So, all right, look. No, I have changed my tune. I don't think that he's going to get paid $60 million a year. I think that he would get the Dak deal, in my opinion, which essentially is kind of like a little bit more of an expensive Baker deal. I think that 50 is the new 40 in this cap, in this cap area. And I think that him asking for anything in the realm of 50 and up would be way too much. I think that in my opinion, the Baker deal for him getting paid high 30s is perfect for what he has. As far as his skill level, his injury history, his future injury history. And also, we say this all the time, but it's important to bring up every time we come in this area of the team. Contracts are not for what you've done. They're for what you're going to do. Right. So it's paced out for how you're going to be able to earn that money moving forward. I think that Brock making mid-30s a year is perfect for what we've seen thus far. We've had 3 years of him, 2 years that he's been here. He's been hurt. That's important. That counts. I mean, if we can give him credit for the comeback, we can also count the fact that he got hurt. So in my opinion, I don't want to mortgage anything else. We've done enough with names, and maybe we'll be able to get an offensive line if we don't pay him. So biggest thing is I don't want to pay him $60 million and watch him run around the whole damn time. Like that's big. The biggest thing right now is like you could really be cutting off your nose to spite your face by giving him 60. Right. And then we've got some guys also, and I'm gonna close with this. We got some guys also that are gonna be making money where I don't know, he could get a pay cut, but what is Brandon Ayuk gonna be when he gets back with all that money, man? So in my opinion, I think they could really pivot on this whole huge exodus of money. They just been paying guys. They can kind of put their foot down with Brock. He can kind of be the first guy moving forward, like, hey. And then you know what? How quarterbacks get paid kind of trickles down to how the rest of the team gets paid as well, too. They could use that. Like, hey, you see how we paid for the top guy? None of you guys better come in here. There's a new day. We're changing things up. So I think that's important, too.
Well, I think Brock Purdy was already trending down a path of decreased pay, in my opinion. I know that the foregone conclusion was Brock was going to get paid $60 million and he had done enough and the 49ers were just going to do it. I'm not so sure that they were going to. I don't know that they were going to just drop $60 million. They said they were excited to pay him and everybody assumed that meant top dollar, make him the highest paid quarterback. I don't know that that was ever the case, especially when he started playing the way that he has been really since the Ravens game. And you got to remember, Brock Purdy has had essentially, 2 full seasons in the NFL when you total everything together. One season where he was a really, really good quarterback. And he also had an injury, but he battled back from that. And then you've got from the Baltimore game on, which is another season where he's a really average quarterback. How can you guarantee that that guy is worth the money anyways? And then you cap it off with this season also might end with an injury. So you have not only 2 season-ending injuries potentially, at the very least, if he doesn't play against Buffalo, that's 2 seasons out of the 3 where he couldn't answer the bell when they needed him most. And that's just the facts. So you add that in with average play for basically a whole season on top of that. I think paying Brock Purdy that kind of money would be reckless. I don't think that the 49ers are going to be willing to do it. I'm curious to see which path they go. Maybe they go the Jordan Love route where they say, hey, we're going to give you a lot more money this next year, but we're not going to give you extra years. At the end of that, we'll franchise tag you if we have to. We'll try to work on a contract if we think you're the guy. Yes, you're underpaid for this year. We'll rework that 1-year deal for you and make it worth your while. Maybe they go that route. Maybe they give him a 3-year deal with only 2 years guaranteed and a team option. I don't think that he's just going to get an outright 5-year deal, $50+ million a year. I just don't see that in his future. How can you? That would be irresponsible.
You know, they're very different quarterbacks, but remember Colin Kaepernick? I mean, he burst onto the scene. He went to the Super Bowl. He won hella games. And then he had a year where he went like 8-8 and he got paid. And then all of a sudden he was losing and he couldn't do it anymore. Like, is that not happening to Brock Purdy right in front of our eyes? I don't know. We don't know for sure. He had a great start to his career. He went to the Super Bowl. Over his last 15 games, he's like 8-7. He's been like really mediocre in terms of his numbers and the team's success with him or lack of success. I mean, I think the Niners were almost backing themselves into a really bad position where they had to give him a lot of money or else fans were going to be upset if they didn't pay Ayuk. Can you imagine if they were like, you know what, we're not going to pay Brock Purdy, but now that he's gotten injured, he may not play again this season. I think like this could be a blessing in disguise. All of a sudden, the Niners don't have to do this. They don't have to just give him $55 million a year. Like, even if he didn't have injury concerns, to me, he's the perfect quarterback to have on his rookie deal because he doesn't need development. He can play right away and he's cheap as hell. But if you're going to give a guy $55 million a year, like the Packers did with Jordan Love, and maybe that he's not worth it, but there's still a chance he could become elite because of his tool. There's no chance that Brock's going to become elite. He just doesn't have that upside. He could be very freaking good, but that's not what you're paying for $55 million a year. So I don't know. I feel like the Niners have the opportunity not to make the biggest mistake ever, and we'll see what they do.
They're not going to do that. I don't think they're going to pay Brock, man. His arm has been beat up by football players more than Kim Kardashian mattress, right? Like his arm is trash. Right? They're not going to do it. Right? Not even smarter than that. They're not going to do it. Yeah.
All right. So I got a question. Like, you guys think? Do you think that this offseason basically is kind of like the last straw from the organization where we're kind of looking at this the wrong way? It's not, is Brock going to get paid, but there's no way Brock will get paid that because of how the organization is moving forward. This offseason was pretty daunting as far as it wasn't just one guy, but you got multiple contracts with guys who are pretty much not earning their money right now. What do you guys think about that?
Well, why pay Brock when you have Brandon Allen anyway? I mean, Brandon Allen can push the ball down the field.
Right.
You know, he's not gonna turn down open receivers like Brock does. I mean, kind of perfect for what Kyle wants. Just saying.
I feel like we're still searching for that next Steve Young, that next Joe Montana,
that next Brian Hoyer. Kyle's looking so hard for that next Brian Hoyer. Can you find him?
For him? Yeah.